Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike, Max, Patrick, Royce, Lou, Nanny, and the one and only Sid Hartman. Sid, you said before the season you thought the Minnesota Vikings would be very good.
Well, I still.
You had a feeling.
We'll see how good they are right now. They're real good, but they still got. I wrote a column the other day. They got the toughest schedule of any team in the National Football.
That's why today was a major step.
Today was a major step. They had a center playing today. I talked to him out there, and they were worried sick about it, and he got killed by that, what's his name?
Linval Joseph.
Guy from the Giants.
Linval Joseph.
Ate him up alive today, and they were worried about that happening. And but we'll see what happens with Green Bay Sunday.
Sure sets up nice, Patrick.
Well, I would have guessed 3 weeks ago you probably wouldn't guess that the Packers are coming to town needing a win to tie for first place.
That's what I'm
the
saying.
Packers lose to Detroit at home for the first time since 1991. They look terrible. Rodgers had to throw 61 times. Meanwhile, what did he throw? 22? And they just handed it off to Peterson, and they're a pretty good-looking team right now. They're mean and nasty defensively, and they hand the ball to Peterson, and they don't take any chances. They don't turn it over. And I tell you what, we also found out why we keep Cordero Patterson around. He maybe doesn't know whether to run left or right.
But he knows how to run.
If you could say go straight ahead when they kick it to you, he won the game for him today because the game had turned, and then he turned it right back.
Yep. Louis?
Well, I think one of the wanted to get rid of him. They couldn't get nothing for him.
You're right. Louis?
When did your name become Louis? Actually, I think that the defense, they said today that they're averaging less than 17 points against the game, and they did it again today. And by the way, Bridgewater, he never gets much plaudits on the show, but he seems to be every game doing something right, and he's done the job for them. So they got to be very happy with.
Well, do you think they've handled him right though? Just go slow with this kid, because if nothing else, they're not. He's still not making big plays, but they're not ruining his confidence.
Well, I don't think they're going slow with him. I think they're doing what they know they have to do with him, and if it's working, why would you change?
The reason I say it is even Rondé Barber today kind of let it slip about arm strength, you know, and obviously he got that from somebody in the back. They're concerned about his arm strength.
Well, he seemed to. When he's had to throw some long passes this year, he's been good.
He didn't do that much today.
You know, if he was Ponder now, you'd be seeing he was great. Ponder were doing the same thing, you'd be seeing he was
Ponder
great.
can't even find. He's not playing with anybody now. What happened there?
Oh no, he's got about $7 million. He's in good shape.
Yeah, but still, you'd think he'd want to play.
I can't answer the question, okay?
But if they have a need for veteran quarterbacks in this league, and he can't find a job.
Well, the Oakland Raiders kept only 2 quarterbacks, and so they didn't keep him.
Denver needs a quarterback.
Boy, oh boy, Patrick, is it fair to wave that flag yet?
5 completions, 4 interceptions for
22 to nothing.
Ooh, yeah, they were getting beat.
And they looked like a chic team to beat early in the year.
They put the other kid in, and they scored 2 consolation touchdowns. But no, Bridgewater, I don't think they're protecting him as much as they don't have to have him do anything right now, the way they're playing defense. I think, wasn't it, Oakland was averaging 34 points a game, and they got 14?
Yeah.
And nobody scored more than 23 on them. They're pretty damn good defensively.
And they get the veteran cornerback step up and get 2 interceptions.
Yeah, how about that?
That was pretty darn good because on the last one, they were saying that one guy's the receiver's 6'4", and Newman's 5'10". He had to get up there a ways to even tip it to catch it again. So
he rates about 25th or 26th in the National Football League in the statistics about a quarterback.
So that tells you a lot about statistics.
Well, it tells you, Sid, if you're not putting up yards, you're not going to have high statistics. Plus, he only has 7 touchdowns. But they get down to the goal line, they don't have him throw a touchdown pass. They hand it to Peterson. So, you know.
Well, they got, as long as it's 4 straight games, and Mr. Peterson has got over 100 yards.
200 today after he broke that last one.
Oh, yeah. I was the only guy in town who said he'd be back. Only guy in town.
I think there was another guy here.
Oh, you?
Yeah.
No, you weren't.
Yeah. I was the only guy in town because Mark and Ziggy Wolf told me just write that he'll be back because he's not going anyplace. If he don't want to play, you won't play.
Okay.
But the big part was not that he's in town. The big part is how well he's playing.
Yeah.
That's the big difference. People thought he might come back, but sitting out a year, a lot of skepticism out there about how he was going to play. But he's played
Well,
terrific.
I had a nice talk with him last Sunday, not this Sunday. And I asked him, I says, really, how long is it taking you to come back? He says, it's taking me more than I thought. He says, but every week I've been getting better. He says, but at first it was tough after not playing last year. So what's happening right now, he's getting better with every game after not playing last
He's
year.
going to be the oldest guy to get 1,500 yards, isn't he? Something like
Think
that.
so.
There's some over 30 stat. He's going to be the oldest guy to ever get so
Well,
many
he's going to
yards.
break that 200-yard record, too, that he's tied with O.J. Simpson. He and O.J. both have 6 games.
6 games over 200.
Over
already.
200.
Might break it against the Packers. That defense they have, although today their problem was
The offense.
Offense today, they can't run the ball at all.
But you know what happens, Louis? I mean, you talk about Denver, Green Bay. These are two teams that in late September, early October, you got them two playing, both of them playing the Super Bowl.
Age waits for no one.
Do you think it's age for both?
It's
Wait a
age
second.
and injuries.
Remember who you're saying that in front of.
There's something going on in Green Bay. First of all,
Well, no baloney, Sherlock.
the general manager took the coach and told him he couldn't call the plays anymore. That's the start of it.
Okay.
That Lacey was a great running back. He can't do nothing
He
anymore.
came in 20 pounds fat. That's why he's overweight.
Take a break. Come back. Sports Show.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. RSM. This is the power of being understood. This is RSM. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship and the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots, being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made.
You're watching CW-23.
Why don't you try this?
Boxed wine, as if.
It's great boxed wine. On tap whenever you want. The Naked Grape, total game changer.
Whoa, that is fresh to the max.
Welcome to the future, Clark. Premium wine that comes from a box. The Naked Grape.
Toyotathon is back with a season full of holiday treats.
Like 0% APR financing on the reliable Camry. Did you know 90% of Camrys sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today? But hurry, our biggest event of the year won't last long. Right now, you can get 0% APR financing for 60 months on a new 2016 Camry. Or lease Camry for only $189 per month. Hurry in today.
Make the holidays happier at Toyotathon.
Toyota, let's go places.
The perfect gifts. The Jewelry Exchange has 1-carat diamond and aquamarine pendants for $39, 1-carat studs $5.99, 1-carat 3-stone ring $6.99, 2-carat studs and solitaires $19.90. Buy factory direct and save. The Jewelry Exchange in Eagan.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs,
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second to none happy hour, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington. Locally owned, nationally known. Hoyt's.
J.D. Hoyt, stop on by anytime going to downtown Minneapolis for an event or just for that special night out during the holiday season. Say hi to Pat and the gang. Chopped steak, seafood, and a whole lot more. J.D. Hoyt's on Washington, a landmark in Minneapolis.
I like your style today. You got 3 assorted deals.
3 layers.
Somebody dress here? Your
Why are
wife?
we all crowded together and Maxie's way over there in the corner?
Because I'm not dumb. Thank you, though.
I
appreciate
apologize for this, but I'm trying
I'm
to
not
raise
saying
money
it
for
looks
prostate
good.
cancer.
It looks terrible.
Looks terrible?
Yeah.
Well, look at you.
I don't.
The old 16 Hartman.
I'm 95.
Okay,
I
what
can't.
we got
I
celery
can't look
here,
good.
Thousand Island here.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the pasta from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Hey, what did you think of your Gophers last night? Were you happy with the 40 to 35? It was an entertaining game.
Here's the thing. I thought the Gophers played pretty well until that last touchdown. They're still in the game. Iowa had allowed 16 points a game to their opposition all year.
Right, it was the opposite of what you thought. You thought it would be if the Gophers were going to win, it'd be lower scoring.
16 to 10.
30. Gophers scored 30 points. If they get that ball back, instead of that guy scoring that touchdown, I think, and I wonder where all those guys are who ripped Leitner. Leitner was terrible. Right now, he's probably as good a quarterback as is in the Big Ten.
The kid last year wasn't bad.
Yeah, that kid's good. But Cody Pook, he got a tackle on that. Did you see that?
Yep.
On that winning touchdown?
Yep.
On the touchdown that made it. But, you know, when you tackle a guy in the middle of the line, it's a little harder to see than when you tackle him out on the edge. You know, Lincoln got caught. But I was amazed how well they moved the ball on Iowa. It was... I was good. I was better than I thought.
That's what I thought, too. Louis, you were there.
The quarterback's good. They're a little better than I thought.
You were there with the Davis family.
Yeah, I think we beat them 51-14 last year.
Yeah.
And for them to come back and get 40 on us, and we have to remember, though, the Gophers are missing 7 key players. I mean, really good players, not average or adequate, really good, and some their best defensive players, best defensive pass rusher. But it was an entertaining game. It was a great game, and Iowa they got a great offensive line too. They're big, and they
I'll
open
tell you
some.
something else. Kinnick Stadium is closer than any
I couldn't
stadium.
believe it.
It's unbelievable.
I was down on the field for the first quarter.
From the
and
sideline to the stands, it's
there's
about
no
2
room.
steps.
There's no room
and
at
it
all.
sounded loud, was it?
They not only sound loud, some of them are a little crude and nasty to the players and the coaches. It's amazing.
The
what
crowd
they
shots
do.
didn't seem they were that drunk, though. Which
The
amazed
ones
me.
behind the Gopher bench
Where'd
might
you
not have been
sit?
drunk. Well, I was on the field for the first quarter, then I was upstairs.
I tell you how goofy they are.
Upstairs,
I tell you how
let me tell
goofy
you.
they are in
There
Iowa
was-
City, though. They had 42,000 people watch a wrestling
Did you
match.
see that?
Yeah.
There
That was
was
during
a
the day,
time.
huh?
Yeah.
They took a shot that
In
the
the
weather would be
afternoon.
nice enough, and it was.
Yeah.
There was a time where they used to throw liquor bottles at Bernie Bierman and all that kind of stuff. It was brutal.
Did they have liquor bottles back then? God
Yeah.
almighty, that's a long time
Little-
ago.
I think Joe Christensen had a list of all the injured guys in Sunday's paper. There's no team can lose that many players and play as well as they have against Ohio State, against Michigan, and against Iowa. They've done a fantastic job considering what's happened.
I agree with you.
I was happy to see that Tracy Clay's got a shot. What did you think? Are you going to argue with me on that, too?
I think he'll do a fantastic job. The players love him. Players love
They
him.
loved Goody.
All of a
That's why
sudden,
we gave Goody the job. We love Goody, but I do think this guy's
Yeah.
sharp.
I think this guy's a real good coach. I'm very, very happy he got the
they
job.
loved Goody because they couldn't get anybody else at the time either.
Bobby Ross.
They thought
Bobby Ross wanted the job. Harvey
They
McKay
thought
had Bobby Ross ready to go. Harvey McKay had Bobby Ross ready
Yeah, Harvey
to go.
McKay told
Harvey
you that.
had it ready to
Harvey
go.
told you that.
Yes, he did.
But Bobby Ross wanted to go in the National Football League. He had no interest in the Minnesota job.
Harvey McKay
He told
had
me that
Bobby
first.
Ross ready
Harvey
to
McKay.
go.
You and Harvey McKay.
Harvey McKay
You're
had
both
Bobby
alike.
Ross ready to go. I'm just saying what I hear.
You gotta love the guy, though. as you said, Sid, they came in, they handed him a contract, he signed it. He doesn't,
Tracy Claeys, you mean?
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's just Jerry Kill had a country act. This guy's pure country. This guy is pure country.
Yeah. Louis, what were you going to say?
I think he's going to do real well with the Gophers. Obviously, you still got to get players. He's going to have to close. We don't know how he is a recruiter. I think just being himself and the coaches do all the recruiting. They get the people in, and the head coach got to close them. And I think they're going to believe in this guy. He's done a marvelous job since he's been here.
They will
Plus,
win
I got
the
to say
next
this.
two games.
Next year, they've got a very friendly schedule compared
You're right.
to this year.
Let me just say, this guy's not married. He don't have no kids. He has no relatives in this town. All he lives is football.
Stock market, too. Plays the stock market in the morning.
Yep.
Lives his football.
Stock market.
And the players think he knows as much as any coach they've had.
They had to close the restaurant in Place Center, though.
3 weeks ago.
Because Mom was fretting too much about the restaurant, and she wasn't enjoying her retirement, so he had to close down.
But ironically, he did that before all this stuff happened.
Yes, right.
Just by chance. Take a break, come back.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Escape MSP, the fastest 60 minutes of your life.
Ever wonder, why do I hear but not understand? Scientists at Cambridge University discovered the answer. Inside your cochlea, there are thousands of tiny hearing hair cells. Poor hearing occurs when regions of these hair cells die. Amplifying a dead region with hearing aids makes you hear worse, not better. The result of this study is a hearing clarity breakthrough. Using standard test equipment, dead regions of your cochlea are identified. Then, a new type of frequency-shaping hearing aid is programmed to bypass the dead regions. Only your usable hearing hair cells receive amplification. Brilliant. A local study is underway. 100 citizens with hearing problems are needed to receive this testing and then wear the tiny device for 10 days, recording your results. Call now to see if you qualify. Volunteers may keep the product at a special discount if they desire. Don't miss this opportunity. Call now.
Hi, I'm John Hines. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World is the place you should come for car washes, oil changes, tires. As a matter of fact, anything and everything under the hood of your car. You're in great hands at Bobby and Steve's Auto World, where serving people is the most important part of their business.
Go into Bobby and Steve's Auto World for great savings on all Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. Plus, get $60 on your World Rewards card. Schedule your appointment at BobbyandStevesAutoWorld.com or just stop in.
Welcome back. Before we get our Gopher topic, the Gopher men's basketball team, I guess, is they've won a couple of games. I don't know what to make of them.
Yeah, we could get 5 guys to beat them.
Yeah. Louis, I got to ask you, though, because you and I were talking about this driving over here tonight. And we've talked a little bit about this before, but even with Minnesota State Mankato in town, a lot of empty seats at Mariucci Arena, way more than I can remember in the past. Gopher basketball, a little bit the same here, stagnant, which is to be expected with the non-conference schedule they have. But take me into the fundraising portion of this, because those are 2 revenue producers that you need on a high end.
Well, I think with hockey, in hockey's case, and I did talk to someone from the Big Ten on Friday, the fans got to get used to having a Big Ten league. And one of the best things I think they can do, if they can add 2 more teams, steal a couple like Duluth and North Dakota or Notre Dame and somebody and get an 8-team league would help. But the fans got to get it back to getting accustomed to the league they're in right now. It was a jolt for them to leave the WCHA.
Inside info. They want to get Arizona State. They're trying to get Arizona State like John Hopkins in lacrosse, and they can add Arizona State as a one-off hockey only, and then if they can find one more, they got an 18.
Oh, they're gonna. They got the two. Iowa and Illinois are going to be in their thing in
Okay.
2-3 years.
They're not because of
But
how many,
let me just
That's
say-
what
how much it costs.
That's what
Let me
Jim
ask
DeLay
Patrick
told
this
me.
quickly. You know, I used to feel like when the Gopher basketball season rolled around, you just had a really good idea who was going to be playing, and now I feel like it's an afterthought.
Oh, it is. Gopher basketball is. It was, you know, going with all the flip stories we did, and you went back to, you know, having been
That's what
around,
made me think of that.
been around in the mid '70s when that place was alive, and to go in there now is.
They're not drawing nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
Their
Well-
season tickets are way down, and Bob Knight went up to Patino when they were in the
NIT.
NIT. He says, "Young man, if you want to have a winning team, you better play some teams
here's-
before the season starts because you won't know how good you are.
That's what happened last year.
You keep on playing these
Yeah, but
stiffs."
here's the problem. You're playing 3 good teams in Puerto Rico,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're playing 1 good team in Sioux Falls.
You're
You
right.
know, I don't care about, you know, they give you a few cash in Sioux Falls. You got to give the ticket buyers somebody in
Exactly.
December. You write off December as something to get the fans excited, don't you?
Yep.
Well, I don't want to write off December, even if they are playing a good team in Sioux Falls and somebody in Puerto Rico. I think you got to play better teams as an exhibition schedule. And I know people keep talking about they want to be in the NCAA and how many wins they need, but if I'm the athletic director, I know the strength of schedule that the coaches are.
I mean, just
are putting
Iowa
up.
State and Marquette for crying out loud,
so
you know?
I think you're going to see a change. I really do. I think after this year, you're going to see better teams in the preseason.
Here's a problem.
Because they've been talking to the coaches about that.
Here's the
Of
problem.
all sports.
TV directs
Yeah.
what games there are. They won Duke. They won North Carolina. They won all those teams.
But they're still real.
Nobody
they're still
wants
for some good
Minnesota.
matchups.
There's 1,000 games a week on
That's-
TV.
yeah.
The Big Ten will take anything you can give them.
Exactly. Louis, the Wild, where are they at now? Parisi out a little bit longer. Are you happy with what you see?
Very happy. They tied their best record ever at 10-3-3, so they got the most points they've ever had after 16 games. The only team that's ahead of them, and they're playing extremely well, is Dallas. Dallas got so much firepower up
Well,
front.
I tell you, that Sharp, don't underestimate that deal. Sharp going from Chicago to Dallas. I told you that.
Not only Sharp, you got Oduya there too.
Yep.
But the best thing they got is they got Ben and Sagan and Speza. When you got those 3 guys, and then you add Sharp, that's a lot of
So
firepower.
are the Blackhawks going to be able to pace themselves and make a move here, or what's going to? I know Duncan Keith was out. Obviously, they've had the issue.
I think Blackhawks are going to make the playoffs, obviously, but I do not think that they're going to win the Stanley Cup. I think they lost too much having to give Kane and Taves $10 million, put them in a salary cap crunch where they lose Sharp, they lose Oduya, they've lost a couple other players, and it's going to be tougher.
Patrick, the Wild, where do they sit in your?
They're better than I thought they were, and Dubnik's now starting to play better again. He wasn't that great the first 8-9 games, and now he won one for him the other night.
Yeah.
Albany beat somebody. Who'd he beat? Tampa 1-0.
When's,
And then he played great against Dallas last night. So
When's Parisi going to be back?
I think after this road trip, he'll probably start skating. I wouldn't doubt if he starts skating this week. He's got a strain in the ligament.
When he says he's ready, give him another week off, though, because remember last time he tried to play with the bad foot?
But is this the difference between basketball and the NHL? I mean, Parisi will do everything he can to get back as quickly as he can. And you look at the Timberwolves roster and you get the feeling like if I can come up with a way not to play, I won't play.
Rubio.
Well, I can't answer that about basketball, but I tell you, hockey players want to play, and they'll play through a lot of injuries.
As quickly as they can.
As quickly as they can.
You got to hang Ellie. He got to sit on the bench.
Flip got us this guy from Detroit that was going to keep everybody healthy, Arnie or whatever the hell his name is. What happened to Arnie?
And they're playing the other night against Charlotte, and as it gets closer to game time, every minute they're taking another one out of the starting
we
lineup.
knew Wiggins was, but Wiggins.
Two guys.
Yeah,
who
Wiggins
get
you can't
money
argue with. Yeah.
Under false pretenses, Rubio and that I can't pronounce his name.
Serious injury.
Two guys are robbers.
I was over there today. They were working out pretty good, Pekovic, the trainer. Take a break, come back.
Pekovic.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, the Wild, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins. Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. For details, go to TicketKingOnline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
Take every step without hesitation. Anticipate your next move with certainty. Because our trusted advisors help you prepare for challenges specific to your business. Our focus is always on you, so your focus is always forward. Experience the power of being understood. RSM, audit, tax, and consulting for the middle market.
Welcome back to the Sports Show. Timberwolves, what we were talking about, Sid. I mean, it's only November, but you feel like here we go again. It looks like another rendition of the same thing we've seen.
If they have a hangnail, they can't play. That's one thing I just tell Louis when we were off the air. You got to respect those hockey players. They get stitched between periods. They play. That Pekovic, he's a joke. He's been out for 2 years.
He had a very complicated ankle procedure. Ricky's the one you got to worry about.
Yeah,
he's got a sore
brain procedure.
And Pekovic's body has always looked like it might
That's
be.
That's what he's got, a brain procedure.
Problematic.
You can play hurt. You can play a little hurt.
I agree. Nick Bockwinkel passed away.
Yes, Nick, 80 years old, one of the great bad guys of all time. Great, you were at 100 fundraisers with him. He did all this stuff around town. Greatest guy ever. But he, what did he call? He called the fans cretinous humanoids or something, and he just ripped the hell out of the fans. He was great.
The best example I'll give you.
Okay, now you do that for sit on sit. Okay, so this is where you finish the show with an exclamation point. Look into that camera. And tell me what you're just going to say.
Right now?
Yeah.
The best example about players playing hurt was Bud Grant. He never got taped by a trainer in his only career. He played hurt. And the good players play hurt. And there's something wrong with guys like Rubio and Pekovic and people like that.
Let me throw a accolade out to Osseo, state champions.
Oh, what
Prince
a game.
Trua,
What a
43
game.
carries.
See you next week, everybody.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. Escape MSP, the fastest 60 minutes of your life. RSM. This is the power of being understood. This is RSM. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.